Okay, I am getting ready to make a ashwagandha decoction, but first I want to explain the difference between a tea, an infusion, and a decoction. Those terms can be confusing, and the word tea is used interchangeably with a lot of people, so I want to break up that confusion a bit. Okay, to start with, I'm going to show you a virtual herbarium off of my website. And this is the herbarium page. Okay. And I'm going to show you the dandelion herbarium because that should help clear up some stuff here. See, when you look at this, you've got different recipes for a tincture based on if it's a root or a leaf, okay? In the root, you make a decoction. The leaf, you make an infusion. When you look at the directions, they're a little different, okay? For the root, you put it in the water, then you simmer for 10 to 15 minutes, okay? For the leaf, you put it in boiling water and steep for 10 to 15 minutes. Difference is the root is essentially cooked in the water for 10 to 15 minutes, where the leaf is just, it's removed from the heat. A tea, see how the infusion here says 10 to 15 minutes? The tea would be steeped 5 to 10 minutes. And the reason these terms matter, not necessarily with this particular herb here, but there are some herbs that have great medicinal value, but the longer they're steeped, they can become poisonous. Because a lot of these plants have protections against being overly consumed in nature. So they have toxins in them. So obviously those toxins would leak into the water over a period of time. Dandelion doesn't have that problem. It is 100% perfectly safe. And when I can think of an example, I'll just add that to the description that I post with this video. Hopefully that clears up any confusion. Leaf juice would be just like you just run it through a juicer. Okay. Now this one here is the ashwagandha page. And again, decoction, how much to use in water, boil for 15 minutes, drink 3 cups per day. Down here, Winston says 1/2 teaspoon to 8 ounce water, simmer 10 minutes, steep for 30, take 4 ounces, 3 per day. This is the recipe I have chosen to use, and I can tell you after being on this recipe here by Winston, for 30 days, I'm no longer on my thyroid medication. I was actually, the blood work from my doctor shows that my thyroid numbers are where they're supposed to be. So I know for a fact that this Winston recipe is a good one. Okay. One other thing is, yes, there are different recipes based on who the author is here. As you can see, there's 3 different recipes there for a decoction, as an example. The only way to know which one is going to work best for you is to try it. Now, other than looking up in sources and having them tell you, are you making a decoction or an infusion or whatnot, the best way to know should you make a decoction or an infusion or a tea is roots and bark both have to be a decoction. Period. Dot. End of story. If you buy dandelion root tea in a store in a tea bag and it does not say simmer or boil, then you are not getting the full benefit of that tea. You might as well just use the dandelion leaf tea. Okay? In order to get the benefit of the root, it has to be either boiled or simmered in the water. Okay? And then leaves are either infusion or tea, depending on which plant it's from. Okay, my oil or water is now boiling. And I like to use these handy dandy little things. It's just a silicone thing. I got a set of 6 with holes in there. And because of the amount of water I'm using, I got out the half teaspoon, so I'll put in two of these for a full teaspoon. And again, I got my package here from the school, the apothecary shop. Okay. And that's what it looks like. And the camera's not going to focus correctly. There we go. That's what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like inside there. And I've taken the lid off and already turned it down to low. Okay. Now, they have those ball steepers and things like that, and those work just fine as well. And there are some herbs that you don't want to use these because of how, you know, their texture, and they'll stick together and things like that. But for things like this, it just makes it easier to not have to strain it when you get done. You just drop it on in there. It bubbles all nicely. Put the lid back on there. And then you set the timer for 10 minutes. But I'm actually going to, well, no, I'll film the next part too. We'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, it has now simmered for 10 minutes. What I do is I add a bit of cilantro, turn it off, remove from heat, and let it sit that 30 minutes. Now, the cilantro is like really slimy and nasty when it comes out, but it'll be okay to sit in there for that long. The reason you want to add something to it, be it, you know, another herb or honey or something, is ashwagandha is a root, and like a lot of roots, it tastes like dirt. So, and I have discovered when you add cilantro to it and you drink it cold, it tastes like cucumbers, and that tastes a whole lot better than dirt. I'm not going to show you the straining process, but what I do is once it's sat here for 30 minutes and cooled down, I pour it into a mason jar and I put that into the refrigerator. And of course, I throw the leaves away, and I throw what's left of the herbs in the ceramic thing also gets tossed in the trash, because there's no nutrients left in there once the soaking period is done. I know some people will throw them out into the garden or the mulch pit, but I really don't think that there's much left in there after they've been sitting for 40 minutes. Yep, and that's it. That's how you make a decoction. Thank you for watching.